I'd like to meet them because they're all my children.
So inaamin mo na?
Inaamin ko naman talaga eh.
Na
ako si Daddy Mino. It's not a secret.
Okay.
I'm not ashamed to say it. Okay, thanks to the guys in the Sports Hype Center. Of course, Miss Abby. They'll be back at the end of this game. Meantime, Dominic and I are back to talk about the first half, and we're all tied up at 52. Great job by Global Port. First of all, great job by Ginebra with that opening blitz. But then a great job as well for Global Port for battling back and actually tying this ball game.
And that's why we have a tied ball game, because both teams playing quality basketball. Sa simula pa lang, Barangay Ginebra off to that good start, led by their import, your Lohorn, who had 16 points in that first quarter. Been too easy for him. You know, credit yung opensa, yung pag-ikot ng bola nitong Barangay Ginebra. But on the other hand, yung Global Port kulang naman sa pinapakita nilang depensa sa pagpigil sa import ng Barangay.
Your Lohorn had 16 points in that first quarter. 16.
And 16 easy points.
Easy points.
Easy points para kay your Lohorn.
Of course, other guys chipping in like NA, and at the end of the first, it was Ginebra on top 31-24.
We talked about it being easy. A lot of those assists going to your Lohorn, but the beauty of that chemistry of Barangay Ginebra, 10 assists in one quarter alone, and then forcing those turnovers on Global Port and then making them pay, scoring 9 points off those turnovers. What a good first quarter for Barangay Ginebra. But in the second quarter, a little bit different than what happened with both these teams.
Okay, in the second period, it was Global Port who went to work. Specifically, it was Sol Mercado broke down the entire Ginebra defense with that play. I mean, he had a tremendous second quarter for Global Port. He was scoring, initiating ball movement, and pretty much did everything for his team.
In the first quarter, itong si Sol Mercado was just limited or opting to just set up his teammates. But in the second quarter, he took the ball to the rack. He got those shots. He got his team back 52 all after that second quarter. Mercado had 9 points in the second. And yun, yung field goal percentage na ng Barangay Ginebra went up to 50%. Look at the free throws. If Barangay Ginebra did not get fouled, this would have been a different ball game. But they were making well of those trips to the line. And look at the steals for Global Port. 3 steals. So you talked about them stepping it up on defense, being able to anticipate that passing lane. Global Port was able to do that in that second quarter.
I think the fans also might have noticed that Dear Lohorn, after scoring 16, only scored 4 in that second period. So clearly, Global Port addressing their problem with Lohorn in the opening quarter.
Well, the good thing about it is yung 4 points ni Dior Lohorn dun sa second quarter, miscues na lang nung nalilibre siya. In the first quarter, tuloy-tuloy yung miscue. Not being on the same page in terms of that defense na pinapakita ng Global Port. He made some adjustments in the second quarter, able to slow him down.
For those who are just joining us tonight, kakauwi pa lang from rush hour traffic, what is at stake here tonight for both teams, Dominic?
For Global Port, needing to win this ball game for the 4th win to assure themselves for the first time in franchise history to advance into the quarterfinals. Kung matatalo sila, magiging komplikado ang buhay nila. They may get tied, they may need to go to a playoff to be able to advance to the quarterfinals. Barangay Ginebra, 2 more games tonight and Sunday against Talking Tex. If they sweep the 2 games, pasok sila, they will make it up to the 4th spot. So that means they will be assured of a twice-to-beat advantage. Kung matatalo naman sila, again, complicated, could go all the way down to number 7.
Dior Lohorn trying to replicate his eruption back in the opening quarter. Ginebra, they consciously they try to send the ball over Lohorn's way.
Hinahanapan nila talaga ng punto si Dior Lohorn, and the good thing is they're setting him up differently as compared to their first few games. They figured out how to maximize his talent, and that is getting off that ball movement and also maximizing yung kanilang mga guardia. Guys like LA Tenorio off that pick and roll, one of the best in the league.
On the floor for Ginebra, Helterbrand, Tenorio, Lohorn, Meyerhofer, and Ellis. Here's LA, shot clock down to 10. And Lohorn turns around. Good effort there by Meyerhofer. But Global Port secures the ball.
At yun yung ibibigay mo na tira dito kay Dior Lohorn. A little bit further away, turn around, fade away shot.
Here's Gary. Inside, all the way, Gary David.
Gary David pretty much quiet so far. Only 9 points para kay Gary David because you know, you understand that he can just erupt for 11, 12, 15 in one quarter.
Let's find out what both teams discussed during the halftime powwow. Erica, what do you have for us?
Maganda ang simula ng Ginebra, but unfortunately, nakahabol ang global court because the Barangay allowed turnovers which were converted to transition points ng Batang Pierre. Kaya naman, that's one thing they have to look out for, sabi ni Coach Ato. As per Coach Junel naman, ipagpatuloy lang daw ang depensa, continue making stops para maungusan na ng tuluyan ang Ginebra. Natapik din sa balikat si Sol dahil sa mahusay na contribution. Balik sa inyo.
Thank you, Erica. And Gary, you can sense when Gary wants to help out, with offense. Once again, sorry Dominic, just kasi baka nabigla yung mga nakakaposan ng TV set sila, nakashade si Junel. Because Junel Bakuli, those are for medical reasons. The procedure done on his eye. Sol Mercado connects and bawal tamaan ng matinding ilaw yung kanyang mata, and that's why he has been prescribed to wear shades.
Sasabihin ko nga, dapat nakakap siya, di ba, para hindi masilaw. Eh, problema, mawawala naman yung identity niya.
Hindi saka suspicious na dating. Iba na dating doon. Nakashades ka na nga, nakakap ka pa sa loob. Iba na yun. Okay, so now it's 60-59. Global Port.
Artistahin.
What, nakakap siya ka nakashades?
Oo, yung ayaw mo magpakita. Pag nagtatago ka.
Jay Washington connects. Great game so far for Jay Wash already with 15 points, and look at Global Port. They're in control now with a 4-point lead, 63-59.
And the big three, the three guys that they wanted to get to be able to bring this team to the next level, playing well in this ball game.
Double team. Good double team, in fact. Ball, however, will stay with Ginebra, but they only have 5 seconds to work with.
Yusef Taha clogging that lane, making it so difficult para kay Lohorn.
Meyerhofer with a slam.
That's the miscue that we were talking about. Nagkakaroon ng ganun itong Global Port. You know, one thing for them, sige, ubusin mo na yung mga miscues dito sa early part ng ball game or dito sa third quarter, but in the fourth quarter, hindi na pwede mangyari yun.
Here's Jay Wash pulling up for 3. Yes, sir!
Jay Wash with his 4th three-point shot in the ball game. Best game for Jay Wash, I feel, in this conference.
I think you can safely say best game in a while. As J.J. Hilterbrand answers back, and there's a foul against Markeith Cummings.
So different the energy dito sa ating third quarter as compared to the first 2 quarters. You know, both coaches waking their team up and their players responding.
So one 3-pointer deserves another. Jay Wash with 18, and now J.J. Hilterbrand with 11 points. Let's bring back Erica Padilla.
JJ recognizes the talent and explosiveness of Global Port. In fact, medyo nahirapan daw silang i-breakdown ang drive and kick play ng Batang Pierre, pero ang magiging susi daw ng Barangay to win is if they continue their good ball movement para makuha ng team ang tamang timing para mabuo ang kanilang mga plays. Balik sa inyo.
Thank you, Erica. Global Port with only 6 seconds on the shot clock. I'll check that. We have a jump ball here between Sol Mercado and Hilterbrand. And shot clock winds down here as Washington overshoots.
Well, that's what happens sometimes kapag hindi mo napapasa agad yung bola dun sa taong libre. Nanggigigil. Jay Wash that time when he got that basketball in a rush to shoot it, ended up masyadong malakas.
Here's LA. Deep left corner. Sends it a Lohorn against Cummings. Import against Import. Dior Lohorn scores.
Good decision that time by the Import, taking that jumper and taking his time. Hindi siya nagmadali.
So the lead swings back to Ginebra, 67-66 as we near the halfway mark of the third period. Washington.
I feel Jay Wash, as he gets more comfortable with how Global Port plays offense, he will not just be settling for those outside shots or cutting to the lane. Magagamit na rin niya ulit yung quickness niya driving to the basket.
First free throw is good for Jay Washington. Erica, what do you have for us?
Dahil ayaw na nila ng iba pang sitwasyon, Jay Wash sees this as a do-or-die game. We know what we got if we win this, which is a sure seat for the quarterfinals. He admits though that his shooting has not been what is expected of him as a scorer. Kaya naman, he takes the effort to do more of the routines he used to do back in college para maibalik ang precision ng mga tira. Balik sa inyo?
Well, Jay Wash's shooting tonight has been exceptional.
Looks like the hard work that he's been bringing back from his college days in nandiyan na ulit.
Here's Cummings. Global port up by 1. That's a bump on Ellis. And 2 free throws for Marquis Cummings. Fourth personal against Ellis. He's had a ton of trouble trying to contain Marquis Cummings. Napapanood na ang Cine Filipino Film Festival, September 18 to 24. Cine Filipino, kwento ang hari. Modest 11 points. Only 11 points for Marquis Cummings, and yet Global Port is on top by 2.
Okay lang yun because the big three, the guys, the locals that you want, yung kumpiyansa nila to get going, you want them to be more than solid, especially if you win this ball game going into the quarterfinals, or if you lose it, yung kinakailangan mo na baka makailangan mo mag-playoff, you want these guys to have it spot on.
Let's see what happened here. JJ inside. Oh, he stepped on the foot of Gary. And then si LA naman stepped on the sideline. That was the violation. So the ball goes to Global Port as we hit the 6-minute mark of the third period. Gary, double team. And a swipe there by Kagiwa. Here's Meyerhofer. Meyerhofer to Tenorio, to Barangay, and now to LA. Nice fake. Inside low horn, reach in by Sol Mercado.
Unselfish basketball for Barangay Ginebra. They could have settled for 2 shots previous to that, but trying to get their import, trying to get the best possible opportunity.
Dome, 7:51 remaining in the third. Global Port is ahead. At sila ang ating mga ulalam, mahal ng masa fans of the day, mula sa masarap, malaman. Sige, go lang, go! Sige, mura at kain din yan! Kasi easy to open, ulalam, ready to eat ulam. Para sa masa, mahal ng masa, ulalam, 15 pesos lang. Once again, we all hope you're having a beautiful, gorgeous Friday evening. Watching the PBA, crucial game in fact. As Meyerhofer attacks, and layup is good.
Barangay Ginebra, you understand that this team, has a lot of veterans, but also the young guys are already slowly but surely figuring out anong role na kinakailangan nila laruin to be able to make this team successful.
So Meyerhofer, although he failed to convert on the bonus free throw, tied the game nonetheless, 69 all. With over 5 minutes to go in the third. Gary trying to locate Cummings. Here's Washington. Now they go to Cummings, but it's intercepted by Mac Barangay.
Solid defense by Mac Barangay. Barangay never able to anticipate that play of Global Port.
And that'll be the fourth personal against Cummings. Although he has not had an explosive offensive night, 4 fouls is 4 fouls.
Mas mahihirapan pa siya ngayon because most of his points nagagaling dun sa mga jump shots. He hasn't really been able to get aggressive going to that basket. Now with 4 fouls, mapapaisip ka mas lalo.
That's a push coming from Taha. There it is, the nudge on Meyerhofer.
Maliit lang, but good enough.
Good enough for his fourth foul, right? Yep. Third foul against Taha. All right, here's LA to Lowhorn. Less than 5 minutes to go in the third, and Lowhorn connects.
Shooting percentage of your Lowhorn in today's ball game is very high, 58% from the field.
28 points tonight for Lowhorn. Here's Miller. Mark Kagiwa's on the move. Mark steps on the brakes. And then tries to attack again. Sends it over to LA, who sends it to Barangay. Pulling up. And that's no good. Global Port down by 2. Here's Sol Mercado. Sol was so effective in the second period. So he attacks again because he gained a lot of confidence in that second quarter burst. And so he goes to the line for 2 free throws.
A lot of playing in a team is chemistry. And slowly but surely, Global Port, nakikita nila, they're getting more comfortable with how they play with each other. That time, Willie Miller had the basketball on the wing. He saw Sol Mercado with the advantage, giving that basketball and then going to the basket and getting fouled.
Here's our Kawasaki rousing fast break, brought to you by Rouser 135 by Kawasaki. Rouse the rider in you. We're tied in you at 71. Fourth personal on Yusuf Taha. And big man on the line is Dior Lowhorn.
We look at the defensive effort of Global Port. You know, they've effectively been able to limit the locals para sa Barangay Ginebra, but letting your Lowhorn just score 30 points, and we still have 16 minutes to play.
The Global Port is down by only 2. Here's Washington. Actually, sabi na tapat si LA kay Jay Wash. And the foul is against Meyerhofer. And that will be the second personal against Rico. There's a warning on Rico Meyerhofer for resentment to a call. Shot clock down to 5. Miller has to shoot here. Shoots over Kagiwa. Then box out by Lowhorn. Barangay to Meyerhofer. Meyerhofer to Lowhorn, to Barangay, to LA, to Kagiwa. No!
Wow, they could have had that shot down low, but they executed 4 more passes to get an even better shot. Nagmintis lang.
Almost, but not quite for Jay Washington, and he will take 3 free throws here. The foul is against Meyerhofer, his third. Check that, only 2 free throws for Washington. If he makes both, he'll tie the ball game once again.
This is that ball movement that we were talking about. Rico Meyerhofer, kick out, swing to the other side, to the other side. Another pass to Kagiwa. Nagmintis lang, but what a great team effort of trying to get the best possible shot in that offensive opportunity.
And now Washington with 22 points. And he ties the game at 73. 3 minutes remaining in the third. Ooh, ankle breaker move! LA Tenorio with a separation in the basket.
There's only one word to describe that. Yung cambio, yung pag-atras, yung change direction. Itong si LA Tenorio, wow. Dami na pinahirapan sa FIBA Asia na.
As Washington will miss, but he gets his own miss. Here's Sol Mercado. Down by 2, 2.5 remaining in the third. Sol answers back. Wow. But these are 2 excellent point guards. And LA with another twist-a-roo layup. And Tenorio now with 11 points.
Masakit doon si LA, it's against Sol. Si Sol, it's not against LA kanina.
Sige, Sol, dami. Dami niya tinadaanan eh. So Ginebra up by 2. Here's John Dan against Lowhorn. Outside, Sol Mercado fires. That will go against Pac Barangay. Third personal against Barangay, and now both teams are in the penalty with 1:52 remaining in the third. Ginebra on top by 2 will take this timeout. Interesting that we have a closely fought game here, but in the battle of imports, it's been pretty one-sided in favor of DR Lowhorn in terms of points.
But you gotta credit the locals. You know, the locals of Barangay Ginebra giving Marquis Cummings a difficult time. Pagdating naman dito sa Global Port, kinakailangan ni Marquis Cummings ang tulong para pigilan si DR Lowhorn.
Missed by Kagiwa. Willie Miller gets the basketball, and he's with Rudy Lingana. Jay Washington has played well tonight. Jonathan Salvador and Marquis Cummings. Cummings, by the way, with only 12 points so far. There's Washington pulling up. Wala pa rin ng Global Port. And the new shot clock here with just a minute and 12 remaining in the third. Gaday. Washington goes inside. Bounce pass to John Dan. John Dan trying to fight for that ball against two Ginebra players. And there's a jump.
Barangay Ginebra has been very successful of crowding that shaded lane this entire ball game. Yung points in the paint nitong Global Port, yung mga extra pass, not really been able to maximize that. They're able to get layups when their guards are able to break down that defense.
Lingana fires. Long rebound goes out of bounds.
That time, Billy Mamaril and John Dan Salvador, they were okay hugging.
That's their style of play.
Oh.
Helter Brand, Kagiwa, Maracael, Wilson, and Mamaril. So Lowhorn, breather as Mark misses, and there's Mamaril with a rebound and a new shot clock for Ginebra. And Helter Brand says, "I'll take it," but he misses it. So Global Port down by 1. They have the basketball. Here's Miller. Oh, what a move! Oh, what a block by Mamaril.
You talk about good team defense. Barangay Ginebra just all over the place preventing that shot.
And a block by Washington, and here's Wilson. Barangay has the ball. Now go! Here's Lingana. Global Port down by 1. 3 seconds to go in the third. Lingana is pushed. And that ends a wild sequence. At the end of the third, Ginebra is on top by 1. Akala mo, ano yun, no? Fourth quarter? No, it's only the end of the third. We'll be back with the fourth quarter in a moment.